everyone. Welcome back to Immigrant Voices and Victories. It's been a wonderful season two with divers of guests. Oh my world. Season two has been so mind blowing and there is more to come. Welcome on board. If you're new here, kindly like, subscribe, and share this video. Immigrant Voices and Victories is your platform to learn, connect, and get inspired. And today we're about to get inspired. We're about to learn from Darlington. And yeah, I'll leave him to introduce himself to our audience. Welcome. Can you kindly introduce yourself? Thank you.
All right, this is always the hardest part for me because sometimes it looks like I'm still trying to discover myself. So I would say my name is Darlington. I have 15 plus years of work experience working in Europe, Middle East, US, Africa, as well as some part of Asia. I have delivered and managed successfully 100 plus projects. I have over 250 plus successful mentees who I have coached and put back into the system. I've had 30 plus country interactions in different continents. I've worked across and I've had 50 plus Fortune um, 500 companies that I've worked and delivered projects for. I would say I'm a project manager by profession, even though right now I'm a senior technical program manager. And have I started my career um, with Huawei as a project manager, moved to Almond, worked in Resourcery and Seamless, Brambles, had interactions with Infotech. So I don't like talking about certifications because sometimes it makes people scared. They don't define me, even though I have a lot of them. But most importantly, I am a father of three, I'm a husband, and I'm a God chaser. So if I haven't told you that I'm a disciple of Christ, I haven't said anything yet. So
Ooh.
that's what I can say. Yeah.
Oh wow, I love it. God has brought you to UK. Tell us, how did you get here? Tell us,
Wow.
how did it happen?
Wow. 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 Hmm. Okay. Oh, let me try. So I was here, I did my master's year 2012, 2013, and then I went back to Nigeria. And then I started working in Nigeria, which was where I worked with Huawei. And then after Huawei did their bid, in fact, I wouldn't be where I am today without them because most of the things I learned, they gave me the foundation. Then I went to Seamless. But then in 2021, I was
Mm.
sitting down, only me in the room, and I heard a voice in my back says, "You're going to the UK." I looked back. I know I was the only person in the room. I said, "Lord, but I don't want to go there now." Like he said, "You're going there." I said, "Okay, fine." So from that moment, I started researching the different ways to go. There is Tech Nation, there is skilled work visa, there is via the student route. And most of these things were very, very expensive. I'm sure every African or Nigerian or international person would know how expensive it is. I started preparing. I was seeking counsel. I was doing research. Key thing that I would say first of all was I like to teach what I want to become, even
Mm.
when I haven't. It says faith is calling those things that are not.
That's good,
So,
David.
like, as though they were. So, if I want to be a caterer, if I want to be anything, as God has given me the ability, the best way to do it is to teach you. So, I started teaching because I wasn't there yet. There were
Mm.
people who were in the UK who wanted to go into project management, but they didn't have the skill. Me, I was in Africa, I had the skill, but I was not in the UK. So it was a win win. So I said, okay, you come, I will teach you. I would
Mm.
use my experience, I would coach you to become a project manager. And by doing that, what I was doing is when they get jobs, I started learning from their job how project managers operate in the UK. So I was using them. They felt, "Ah, this guy has helped me," but I was using them to gather data. So if I help you, you work in the NHS. The moment you start working, you tell me how people in the NHS behave, the kind of projects they do. I write it down. I help another person in the banking. They tell me, I write it down. So before I came into the UK, I had a book of different people that I knew the kind of project, I knew the language, I knew everything. So when it was
Wow.
my turn, I was already prepared. So when they were asking me, in fact, the interview was so easy that the last, I think the last stage, the vice president was driving and he said, "Please, could you give me 15 minutes?" I said, "Yes, no problem." And then when he got settled and we went into the interview, it was more like 15 minutes. And then he asked me, "Are you, will you be needing sponsorship for?" I said, "Yes, I would need." He said, "Okay, fine, no problem. I like the way you waited for me even while I wasn't ready. I love the way you were patient. I love this." And the key thing was, yes, project management brought me to the interview. But the very key thing that
Mm.
struck the need for them to show me grace was not really because I was a super fantastic project manager, but there was just this timing that God had to make him come late one way or the other. I waited patiently. So when he got there, he apologized and we were chatting. And we chatted on one of the projects and he said, "Oh, do you know this person?" I said, "Yes, I know." And all of those stuff. Next thing I got a call from HR. We're going to sponsor you. They were even asking me. I told them, okay, as at then, I had my wife and then two kids. They were asking me, "Do you have another dependent?" I said,
Oh,
"No, I
good.
don't have." I said, "Th- if you do, tell us so that we can add." I said, "I don't." I said, "Do you people want to give me dependent?" I said, "I don't have." So it
Wow.
was it was it was but the thing I would not let people not forget is that before that very moment came, I had so many companies that the moment they pick up the phone and call and they know where I am, they just, "I'm sorry," like the moment they know where you are. There were some wisdom I got along the line. One of them was remove your location. Don't put location on the CV.
Mm.
Another thing was remove your phone number. Don't put the phone number. And I got a UK line, and I was I was fueling the line while I was in Nigeria. So I had my CV, I had a UK line on the CV. Because the thing is, you look at it, if you want to, if you if you're employing somebody for your video business, right? And you're here in the UK and you received a CV. The CV had all the experience. But then he says, and this, your company has a problem that they really, really need to solve as fast as possible. And most times we forget that the first people who get the CV are like the recruiters or something. And it is them that will then pass this thing to the hiring manager. So
Mm.
most times the hiring manager is the person with the decision making. They can sponsor or not. But it is only the CVs that they receive that they can make actions for. So I was saying,
Mm.
God, how do I pass this recruiter? I know that the hiring manager can make the decision, but how do I pass? And one wisdom was remove the location. Because
Mm.
if you want to apply, if you want to employ somebody and you see that the person is very, very far, some things come to your mind. Is like, I don't know the immigration process in that country. Maybe it will take 6 months before this person calls. Maybe it will take. We don't. I don't think I have that time. Let me look for somebody who. So the key thing was to eliminate anything that would make people judge me without even seeing me. So that was where God was helping me. I would do this. Sometimes I'll make mistake. They will call, oh, the job is 90K, but oh, sorry, we can't do anything. I had got so many. There were days like this. There were some days like I didn't feel like applying again and all of that until I think God knew that I started getting tired in the whole UK thing. So I said, let me try Ireland, right? I I was getting more calls. In fact, I forgot about coming to the UK completely. I didn't want anything because all the calls that I was getting, they would say, oh, sorry, oh, sorry, oh, sorry. But this is where I want people to know that sometimes the way for God to help you heal is to first of all take you away from, because sometimes you've exhausted so much energy in trying to get something. So he would change your direction. So God helped me. I was applying to Ireland. So I was preparing for Amazon Island. I finished all the interview. It was just on the last stage. But the thing was that all the questions that I was preparing for in Amazon Island helped me for this one I got in the UK. In fact, the Amazon Island, they said no, but it was like you were preparing for something, but it was useful for something else. So that was how these guys came, carried me, asked me, is there anything you need? Just don't worry. They did the whole stuff, catapulted us, gave us soft landing, and sometimes I try to I don't know how to tell the story without sometimes shedding tears, because the truth is I am not the best, right? I
Mm,
am not the best of people. I'm not the smartest of people. So I don't want people to think, oh, he he was helped because he has studied in the UK before. He was helped before. No, I look up to the hills. The hills could be anything. The hills could
mm,
be school. But from whence comes my help? My help comes from the Lord who made heaven and earth. And like I did tell you at the beginning, I have two prayer points. One of them is, Lord, no matter how much I beg you, don't take me away from here if it is not time.
mm,
You know, I'm not saying positive confession doesn't work, but
mm,
faith is not positive confession. Like the shirt I'm wearing says faith over fear, right?
mm,
Now, I faith is not me confessing that God, I know you're going to do it. I know, no, no, no. Faith comes by hearing. So it
mm,
means I have to hear first. You know, Joseph got into prison, and every day, I wasn't there, but every day, Lord, I know you're the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You will take me away from here. He kept confessing that 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, until the guy just said, see, Lord, I'm not quarreling with you anymore. Because you need to understand when some negative situations in your life are actually God's preservation. You know,
mm,
most times we think, God, nothing bad will ever. No, some things just happen, and it's a way to preserve you. And
mm,
what I learned there, and I keep praying, is, Lord, if Pharaoh has not dreamt, don't take me away from here. Oh. I don't want to go and land in another Potiphar's house, because if I land there, my CV says, because if you check Joseph's CV, right, the CV says he has worked as a servant, go as a servant. So it means the only job he can ever get in this country is a servant or a chief servant. But but if your next promotion or your next
mm,
job is dependent on someone else's dream,
mm,
then you have to wait. Now, while waiting, I'm not saying you fold your hands. You could be doing anything. You could be putting food on the table, but
mm,
put that thing in mind. But when it was time that Pharaoh dreamt, God gave Joseph the ability to be the one to interpret it. And that was history. Even his Potiphar was reporting to him. So it's just a matter of time. I just want people to know that, see, you can, just because you put hands like this, things work. You put hands like this, things work. You think it's just you. It's not. The day you would be on the hospital bed, you would know that it is not you.
Mm.
The strength that we have to do everything, whether you acknowledge God or not, He is still the one who makes the rain to fall in the roof of the good and the bad. So yeah, that's how this whole
No.
thing started for me. I don't know how to keep repeating the whole thing. It's
I
just so.
know because that's it. The wonders of God is just we can't explain how awesome when God smiles on you, when He turn around your captivity is a different story entirely. You become speechless.
Yeah, it's I am even to tomorrow. And the thing I wanted to add there is so that people know the boss who hired me left the company to another company. I mean, when I joined in February. He left the company in May to join another company. So I was like, and then when it happened, I was more like the new boss I was reporting to was like, um, I was kind of reading it between the lines, and the truth was, if that the boss I had who hired me, if he did not hire me, I don't know if this new one will have
Would have.
hired me. I just want people to just keep trusting. I'm not saying it's easy, but all I know is we human beings, we sometimes forget that Jesus is in the boat just because the wind and the storm. Jesus was right there sleeping. They forgot because the wind was so big. It was later their brain clicked and said, this person is here sleeping now. Let's wake him up and we do that. Situations will make us sometimes forget that there is God. It
Mm.
happens it happens to everybody. But I just want to send people back to the beginning. To just say take one day, take 2 days. Just like if you're married, you just need space. Sometimes the children are blessings, right? Jobs are blessings, but we sometimes get these things and we forget our spouses that it all started with them. But when
Mm.
you take one day off, 2 days off, go out with your spouse, and you just discover that, in as much as all of these other things, they've beclouded the main two people that actually birthed them. So I try to make sure that all these things that I have are just added advantage. Oh, they can come and they can go.
This is a very wonderful testimony. To be honest, it's always rare. Most of the people that get sponsored are scientists, health worker, project manager is not even on the shortage list.
No, it's
You
not.
know, just to tell you that the hard work pays. Oh. When you have God, hard work, it all pays. So tell us, what are some of those skills that qualified you? What are some of those skills that you think, or the experience that you had that you think made you stood out in your interview, your application, and all that?
Number one, there is the technical side of things. Having spent more time in technology projects, so understanding the domain, understanding the business that you're going to be delivering project for. Then, secondly, your ability to teach. Then, thirdly, your ability to come that you're solving problem. You're not coming for a company to solve a problem for you. You're coming even before. The truth is, if I'm to have a meeting with you, I would do my best, whether it's by prayer, whether it's by research or anything, to get as much information. So I would study you so much, the type of food you eat, you won't even know. So if I'm to have a meeting with you in 2 weeks' time, I will go on LinkedIn, I'll go on this, I'll look for your mutual friends, I'll try to study your post, I'll try to know those who are close to you. I'll try to gather as much information so that when we meet, I'll tell you, I'm sure you had oats this morning. And it's like the person is saying, oats? How do you even know that I take oats? Now, what am I doing? I know that I come from a minority. I know that I come from a less privileged background. In fact, most people would look at your skin color, most people will look at your name. There are so many things about me that if you want to begin to look, there are downside. So what I do is I don't allow you to control the interview. I control it for you. I push you to where I want you, where I know my strength is. Because if I allow you to control, you might ask me questions that will put me towards my weakness. Before we even start talking, I said Chelsea is actually not doing so good. They say, yeah, Chelsea. Yeah, I don't like the way they are playing. So we use the first 10 minutes to discuss. We came for a job interview. We used the first 10 minutes to discuss football. Why? I've studied my interviewer. I knew that he's a hardcore Chelsea fan. I knew that he has been doing this, and we first of all create a very neutral environment where whatever fear I had it has been melted. It is later he will then remember that, oh, we came there for interview. He will now use the remaining 10 minutes and just tell me, okay, can you tell me about yourself? And he'll ask me one question. And that one question he will ask, I will answer it so well. And then he will just go back and because the truth is we don't hire CVs, we hire impressions, we hire
Mm,
image people in our mind.
mm,
Sometimes if you just like somebody, even when the person is not so saying the thing, you just have mercy and you just hire the person. But there are other people that the CV has everything, but maybe I've been in an interview where I know that this person can do this. But for one reason or the other, the person came to the interview and the person was not his or her best. But I know what the person could do. What I did
mm,
was I spoke to the panel and I said, can we have another interview with this person? They said, oh, no, I said, no. As a coach, sometimes you look at people, you know their capability. And the truth was that this lady came back, had the interview, and she got hired. Now, if we had judged her by that first thing, we would have, because she took her child to school and was trying to rush back, and something happened to the car and it disorganized her. So there is nothing she would say in that interview. And most
mm,
times we judge people. So it's for me, I've mastered. I knew everything that project management should do. I've taught it. But then the key important thing is that people do not prepare well for interview. It is people that hire people, no
mm,
matter how you want to do it. It is somebody that is going to have your next level or your worst level is in the hand of another person, whether you like it or not. So
mm,
we have to learn the art of communicating and impressing people.
mm,
So what the one way for me is I take my time, I study you, and by the time we are talking, it will look like we went to the same secondary school together because I've gotten all the information. So the only
mm.
thing you know about me is my CV, but I know everything about you. It enables us to create that enabling environment to just speak. Yeah.
Awesome. So we know you're a coach, you're into project management, you've got your own company, you coach people. Can you tell us about that? Because I'm sure a lot of people would want to learn one or two things from you.
So it wasn't easy. I think one thing I I also need to mention is um I'm planning to retire in the next 10 years because sometimes you feel like what took other people 7 years to get 10 years to get you got in 2 years 3 years
Mm,
and what other people would have to walk and walk and walk by reason of because I study the Bible a lot and I take wisdom from there. There was one day God asked me, I was reading somewhere, it says, wisdom is better than weapon of war. I
mm,
started, some people live their life fighting enemies, right? I don't have a problem. If you have strength, please go on. But for me, I learned that there were two kings. One was David. He gained victory by fighting.
mm,
And another was Solomon, who did not fight a single war. So I said, Lord, no, I don't want to fight. I don't want to gain victory by fighting and fighting. I need wisdom. I need your guidance. I need you to direct me. I need you to take this hand. Do whatever you want to do. When you're done, don't give me back. Hold it. When I need it, I'll come there. Because if you give me, I'll use it to do what I want to do. So now, what gave birth to this whole coaching thing was the way I myself was coached. I had a very poor starting career in project management with the way I was coached. And then I discovered that most people fall into that same trap of meeting people who have a very good marketing and good website to say, we do this, we do this, we do that. When you meet them, you just don't get anything in return. So I started studying the market, and then God helped me that the over 250 plus people that I have coached in the past 4 years, it is all in understanding them, understanding the market, finding where fits for them, coaching them, and guiding them through the projects that I'm working on or linking them with people who would guide them. So, in that process, because in the UK here, nobody cares whether you have PhD or it's all about the experience, right? If you pack certificates, somebody who has experience will still be your boss. I started coaching people based on instilling confidence, and it actually wasn't easy. But one thing that has helped me is being able to encourage them along the journey, not just teaching them project management, but letting them know that the cycle is not complete until they too can get into the market and coach somebody. So for me, I'm not saying I'm supposed to be a pastor, but my platform of teaching people about God and the way God can help them was through coaching. So I have been able to lead so many people, whether it's Muslims, whether it's in fact one of the highlights was I coached a friend. I live in Warrington. What made me even come to Warrington when I was living in Nigeria was one of the students I've coached. He used to ride taxi. He's a Pakistan. We're very close now, but that was taking him. In this country, you just sometimes have to do things that would make you just put food on the table. So he rides taxi, and sometimes you have to be out late in the night just
mm,
to. So it was affecting his family. It was affecting relationship with his wife. He was not having time for the children, and he reached out, said, "See, I really need to break into tech." And I said, "Okay, fine." So we discovered that business analysis was the best route for him. So we started. I trained him. He worked with me on projects to gain experience. And when he got his job, I
mm,
saw a call from his phone. I thought he was the person calling. I didn't know it was his son calling me. And when I picked the phone, I say, "Hi, Majid." And he said, "No, it's not Majid, it's his son." I said, "Hey, how are you?" And he said one thing I would never forget. So even if I want to stop coaching today, because of that thing, he said, "Thank you for helping my daddy not to ride taxi." It's like I looked at it and I said, this whole thing, it's not really about coaching people to get a job. It's more than that.
mm,
It's restoring families together. It's giving people sense of belonging. So many people, maybe they spent their whole life doing care work and all of those things. They want to transition. Some people have worked in extreme cold period in doing warehouse jobs and factory jobs, and
mm,
we've been able to help them move from there to find, it's like, let's say while you were in Nigeria, you were working in the sales department or marketing, and you come here by reason of situation, you just have to do something to keep the
mm,
family together. And
yeah,
just like that man by the beautiful gate who had been there for 38 years.
mm,
Sometimes while you are trying to pray to God and say, God, enable my legs to walk, because that leg has not worked, you change your prayer to people give me money. And you just forget. That's one thing I have noticed. It's not just about that man, it happens to everybody.
mm,
Sometimes you just forget it. Even that man that was by the pool of Bethsaida, Jesus asked him, what do you want?
mm,
Even when God was speaking to him, like, what do you want me to do? He was saying, I don't have anybody. I don't blame him. Situation sometimes gives you a mental state that you just
mm,
want to survive. So speaking with people and helping close to 300 people move from whatever they're doing into project management or cyber security or business analysis or data analysis, it's giving me so much joy and fulfillment that lives are actually changing. Some of them are earning 65 plus, 75 plus, 100 plus. One of my mentees actually is working in Shell in the UK, earning close to 100. So I just want to encourage anybody who wishes that, okay, where do I start? I'm not asking you to figure it out. I'm only saying, come, let's reason together. Let's try find where would be most suitable for you. There are different types of rice, right? There's
mm.
jollof, there is white rice. Don't try to blend. Yeah, don't try to think, oh, everybody's doing white rice, so I'm going to do white rice. No, if it is coconut rice that is going to be your fit, come, we'll reason together. We'll help you enter into that space, and then the rest is history. So I thank God for how He has helped me. I think that's how mentor partners came into being. But it wasn't really very easy because you have people who would speak down on you. There was a period in my life that I say, God, I am helping people. They are getting 75K, 80K in the UK, 55K. And me, I'm in Nigeria. We're still struggling with they've not paid us. There's no light. I said, God, what is that? What is all this now? There was a period I was sleeping and I heard one voice. It said, Darlington, why are you living like a bastard? I woke up and I started saying, bastard, bastard. What is bastard? Bastard, somebody who does not, or why are you living like a bastard or like an orphan? Somebody who does
Mm.
not have, and you
It's
call
all
me
the
father, but yeah, you call me father, but you don't treat me like one. You call me Lord, you don't treat me like one. Like somebody who says this person is my wife, but you don't treat the person. And that day I repented. I said, You are Lord, you're my father. See, do whatever you want to do. Guide me. I am still your boy, I'm still your child. Help me. And with little by little, it was not easy because I can be very, very stubborn, especially when I start doing something. But he has really, really helped me to come back to where, so I just, whosoever is listening, don't kill yourself, right? That you're still alive is a proof that God is not yet done with you. In fact, the
mm,
reason why you are alive and you're listening to this podcast or recording is because God has a plan. So I don't care if it is just one person who is about to take their life and one way or the other stumble into this thing and say, God, can he still walk?
mm,
If you don't know how to come, I'll tell you. I will take you through the path. In the next 2 years, 3 years, Dr. Yems will call you and you two will come and give your own story of
Yeah.
how one boy somewhere who is wearing a blue shirt, fit over fears, spoke to me and helped me. Somebody said, if you get to the top, don't forget to send the ladder down. Most times
Mm.
when we get to the top, we hold the ladder like you go and suffer how I suffered. No, that you that you were able to suffer is for others not to. Everybody must not give birth to through natural. Some people must go through CS because they don't have big pelvic bone. So you don't expect everybody to go through. We are sometimes very stingy in the sense that we don't want people to know how. Like
Mm.
God helps you, and you are just let them go and do they know what I suffered? Do they must they know? God allowed you to, all the people that you're reading in the Bible and you're getting encouragement from, if they did not write those things, how would you be encouraged? So for me, that was how the whole coaching thing started, and we are still coaching people. It's not easy. It's not easy, but I think there's so much fulfillment in helping people to realize exactly what they really have dreamt to do. Yeah.
Awesome. So to climb the ladder, now that the ladder is going down, can you give us an overview of the courses available at Mentor Partners? What are the courses that are available?
Before I go to the courses, let me just explain that the whole vision of Mentor Partners is to cut across all possible courses. So, whatever thing you want to do, whether it's mechanic, whether it's auto, this, whether it's project management, whether it's medicine, the thing is, you come to us, we would do some analysis, you will go through training, and then you will be paired with a mentor in that field. So, there are people in Canada, some immigrants who moved to Canada and they want to move into a particular space. So they came to us, we took them through the basic training, and then we have networks of mentors. So who are spaced in different. So if you want to be a construction project manager, we train you and then pair you with a construction project manager already in the field who would help you to gain the experience to become a construction project manager before you then go and apply. So there are different courses. You have data analysis, cloud engineering, software development, project management, business analysis, cyber security. So it's not limited to any particular course. We're
That's
even branching into medicine. The aim is just to help as long as that particular thing you want to do is relevant in the country or industry you want to apply. Once you come to us, we help you to get trained and then pair you with who would help you build that professional experience before we then send you out into the market. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's everything that you can get from Mentor Partners. So, how do we enroll to Mentor Partners?
If you go to the website www.mentorpartners.co.uk, there's a place there that says book a call. So once you book, you would actually select the slot you want. Then we would go come into a session with you, talk you through because we are not a regular training company. We are actually a professional evolving or a professional transformation company because we don't just train, we empower people. So it's
Mm.
not if you want training, you could go and get training anywhere. But if you really want to know the stuff, um, that's what we do. So you come, we sit down with you, try to understand your past, try to understand your present, try to understand your future, create a very detailed career plan for you to say, okay, this is your 1 year or 2 years or 3 years project management roadmap. Okay,
Mm.
this is how you start. So the first 6 months is to prepare you for you to get into the job. But when you
Mm.
get into the job, it doesn't stop there. This is
Mm.
how to grow in the job. These are things to do. These are the kind of jobs. These are what you should avoid. These are so all of those things will help people that even after they finish going through the courses with us. While they are working, it is more like the roadmap that has been created for them. So if you go to the website or any of the social media channels, or I would we would drop the joining link as well with you so that anyone who is watching the video who wants to also click, they could do that. We would come into a session with them and we would actually tell them how to kickstart the journey. Yeah.
Awesome. And also, there's good news because by watching this interview and this episode, we've been able to secure 30% discount, which is very, very good. There's going to be a link in the description section for anyone watching Immigrant Voices and Victories this episode, or anyone at all. Just click on the link and you're going to get 30% discounts from Darlington's testimony. You should know that when you join Mentor Partner, you're in, for your next level. Let me just say that. So please click the joining link and you will be able to get 30%. If you go to the website, like you said, you won't get it. So just you will get the normal price if you go to the website. So make sure you click the joining link, which will be in the description section below. And if you have any other question, come on, pop it in the comment section. Darlington and any of his team will be, happy to check all of the comments and answer questions. But make sure you use that link so that you can get 30% discount. And what else do you want, if not, an opportunity to do better, an opportunity, to get the best out of yourself as an immigrant in the UK. Like we've heard so many people say on Immigrant Voices and Victories, is keep pushing, do your best, and get the best out of yourself. And I think maybe I should join one of these projects so that me too, I'll be able to manage, Immigrant Voices and Victories.
As a mom, you're already a project man because it's not telling those,
You
hey,
know?
don't even there, come back. Those, hey,
I know.
it's not
So, but
easy.
I just want to put some certification to it so that me too, I'll
Yeah,
be ready for the next level.
I think there was somebody, all she had was training. She hadn't done any project before, and she got to the interview as a project manager. So they asked her, have you worked on any project before? She said, well, she has been a wife and a mother. Everyone was laughing. One thing I've learned is David had not fought any battle before
Mm,
when he fought his first. So
mm.
convincing Saul that the lion and the bear is in my CV, even
Come
though it
on.
doesn't look like killing somebody. And he's like, Saul said, okay, fine, you go. This is where I beg everyone. If you are watching this and you've not given your life to Christ, please, 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 I would encourage you to do so. Not really because it's going to give you a big job or anything, but there is this peace you would have as you go through life, even when things don't work. And one thing it would help you do is to be able to recognize those very small things in your life that could help become turning points into sometimes we think I have to mention that I've worked in one big organization, I've worked in one
Mm,
big thing. That is what no, it's those small things. I've killed a lion, I've killed a bear, I'm going to kill this Goliath. And they said, go. You know, we need to be able to, that is some of the things that God will help us. And we are nothing without God. This world itself is messed up. And
mm,
I would say this truth to every person coming into the country. I'm not trying to downgrade you or anything, but the truth is this: just know that you're coming into an industry and you're coming into a country where you are in quotes. I don't like using the word less privileged. Most people don't agree, but the truth is, by default, you start from a disadvantaged position.
mm,
So you have to work 10 times
mm,
harder than an average person. Don't
mm,
think, oh, grace is, I'm going to fold my hand and God is not. No, it's like grace is going to enable you to work 10 times harder. Grace will enable you to read longer. Grace will enable you to get things like
mm,
stay more, be patient. Let me even ask you a very simple question. You have 10 CVs, nine of them have right to work, one of them do not have right to work. Like you as a hiring manager, it's like what will make you it will take something extra. Some people think it's just because you're in the UK but you have advantage. No, the same
mm,
thing you're looking for, a million and one people are looking for it. So you
mm,
have to be very, very different. Told this to one of my friends, and I said the cost of producing anything is the same,
mm,
but the cost of selling that thing is different. The cost of
mm,
producing a bottle of water is same,
mm,
but it is the bottle of water that finds itself into traffic that we will buy for 200 naira. The one that managed to find themselves in party will be sold higher. The one that managed to find themselves in an airplane will cost more. The same bottle of water.
mm,
So we all come from the same production factory.
mm,
But most times people just locate themselves in traffic and they say, God, every time they are pricing me 200 naira, £1, 200 naira. It's just because you're there. If you
mm,
happen to mentally change your location, that's why sometimes in the Bible, most people, God had to even change their name because a whole lot of things had come with their previous name. And
mm.
also, if you come to Christ, anyone who is in Christ is a new creator.
Creator.
All things
All
have
things are
passed
passed
away.
away.
So you need to read some books, you need to go through some trainings, you need to go through some seminars, you need to listen to some podcasts, you need to hear some success stories. And when you hear somebody successful, don't get angry, don't get envious. I know sometimes we like, God, you did it for this person. Why won't you
Why?
do it? But we used to say something. If God does something for your neighbor, it simply means he's in the neighborhood.
Mm,
Because there's no way he would do something for your neighbor that he didn't come to the neighborhood. So go and meet your neighbor, embrace them, rejoice with them, ask, how can you help? There was one um, student of mine, they were two learning together. One got job, the other one did not get. And they were girls or ladies. And sometimes these tantrums of, start keep, I said, no. I told her, I said, God, what will I do? And what I heard was, tell her to go and support the other person. So I reached out to her. I said, see, go to this person's house. She's already working. Go, stay with her 1 week, see what she's doing, see how she's doing her job. I know you referred, the funniest thing was that this person referred is like you referred somebody to me, and the person you referred got job, and you are still there. I told her, I said, sometimes the only way for you to attract this thing is to embrace it, not to
mm,
fight it. So I went
mm,
there, was working with the person, seeing how she's and why she was there. An interview came. An interview came that she needed to do a presentation. And it was that person that joined head with
mm,
her and did the presentation. And she called me and said, it has worked though. I said, why would it work? Why would it work? So your friend got a job and all of a sudden you feel the best response you can give is to start. No, there's no time for envy. Embrace the person. If it's a child education, go buy something for the child, carry the child, bless the child, rub the child on your body, even call the child the name of your own child that has not come, and keep
mm,
trusting it will come. Father of many nations, for somebody who don't even have one child, you
mm,
just keep walking. So for those who are, you might be doing healthcare, Not a problem. Congrats to you. I celebrate you for even doing whatever you're doing to put food on the table. But it
Mm,
does not end there. It does not end in working night shift of you going out, you coming back, your husband is going, the children don't have time. Just take your time. While you're doing that, let's change the trajectory a little bit. Let's look for jobs that there are so many jobs in the shortage list. There are so many
mm,
things that you just don't. Those lepers said, if we remain here, we will die. If we go forward, we will still die. Since we will still die, let us move forward. So I beg you, I beg you to just take that step. Sometimes it might look like I don't have the money. If it is several £100, I don't have the money. When you come and we look at it, there was one student, he came from Nigeria. He did oil and gas in Nigeria. When
mm.
oil and gas was going down, so it was when he relocated to the UK. So somebody referred him to me and we spoke and I said, okay. As at then, I told him I was still in Nigeria. I said, okay, I was going to coach you. I think, how much did I say? Was it £800 or £900? He said, okay, no problem. Darlington, I've heard. I am going to pay you £150 and I will spread it in 6 times because, brother, easy for here. I started saying £150 divided by 6 is like how much? He said, my brother, see, that is what even if you naked me now and report me to as at then the queen was still alive. If you naked me and report me to the queen, nothing will come out. So what I did was okay, I said no problem. I will take a bet in you. Me, I if I know that what I will give to you would not yield any result. So we said, okay, fine. I would coach you for this £150 that you're saying. But when you get the job, he said he told me that if he gets the job, even if it's £2,000, he was going to pay. So I took the bet. I said, okay, no worries, don't even pay. And his name is Andrew. So we went through the whole program. And then he applied for the first job, he didn't get it. Applied for the second one. He called my phone was ringing. I was cutting it. You know where you cut it, you call, you call. I even thought he was calling me for because I thought he was calling me for another interview. So I didn't have strength. It's like sometimes preparing people. So he now sent a voice note. Said, Oga, it don't happen, no. I said, and so my point was that I see I've taken bets on people and sometimes they don't come back. I don't care. Jesus healed 10 people, only one came back. So I'm not expecting everybody to come back. But the truth is, for those who had the reason I just want people to come back is not to tell people that I coach them, but just to let people know your story and let them know that there was once upon a time that things was nowhere to be found and God helped you. Don't even mention. Most times I tell people the same way Jesus healed people and say, don't tell anybody. Most times I don't even want because I don't want traffic. It's like somebody will come and meet you and say, Darlington, you must help me the same way. I'm a very quiet person. I don't even want people to know where I live. So, but just tell them that at one point you went through this. I tell people that if you did 100, if you applied 100 job and got 100 rejection, tell people that you got this rejection because there are people who are getting rejections too. But if you don't tell them, they will think
Mm.
you just tried your first job and it just happened. No, it doesn't happen like that. But in the midst of all of these things, you're able to cook up strength and God enabled you. And it happened. So that's
Oh, awesome. These
my
are the reasons why you should click on that link and join Mentor Partner and get mentored. It's going to happen for you. What a wonderful time today on Immigrant Voices and Victories. It's been a great time. Thank you so much. And finally, what advice do you have for immigrants in the UK?
so I think I will just tell them that I know that the UK is the UK is a land of plenty. The UK is a land of so many opportunities. Just remove yourself from the camp of people that tells you that things are not working. The advice I will give you is if you go back to the Bible, somewhere in the book of Numbers, Moses sent spies into the land, and some came back and said, "See that country, there is nothing good there. The tax, the this, the that, the this, the this." But two people came back with produce and said that land is flowing with milk and honey. There's somewhere in Leviticus where, and this is what I will use to end. God was speaking to the Israelites. It says, if you say that these people are stronger than you, then God was now telling them, what do you want me to do? Because me, I can only show my mighty power through you. So, but if you say they are stronger, it means me, I can't do anything. I'll tell people to change their camp, speak to people, even if it is one person, because CNN and BBC will tell you, they will not tell you the 99 planes that landed safely. They will tell you only the one that crashed. So change your orientation, change the people,
Mm.
and try to connect, listen to more of podcasts like this, get encouraged from people who have succeeded, ask God to let whatever thing worked for them to work for you. Find a way to connect with them, let them help you, let them guide you. If somebody does not show you the road, I let everybody know that in this country we drive on the left, in Nigeria we drive on the right. You can't use whatever thing you know there to apply here. Somebody who had conquered here needs to show you the road. And if you happen to meet with any of them, hold them in their trouser and tell them you must help me or the same way God helps you. That's the only thing I can say.
Oh, thank you so much. So go find someone, listen more to immigrant voices and victories, listen to people's success stories to get inspired. And that is why Immigrant Voices and Victories is here to get immigrants to share their story, to encourage you to do your next big thing. And if you find any of our guests anywhere, grab them and tell them, I've heard your story, I need your help. Just like you need to go and grab, the joining link for mentor partners so that, you can be helped. Thank you so much, Darlington. What a wonderful time today on Immigrant Voices and Victories. This is one interview that, I've got nothing to say because I'm just enjoying, the man of God giving us the word, sharing the word, sharing his knowledge. And, he's a saint in business and is faithful in, the work that God has laid in his hands. So if you're out there, actually, as a Christian, this is how you need to, bring God in your business and just enjoy life. Do you do good in everything
Yeah,
that you do? Do you do good? Faith over fear. If you've got nothing in this interview, just remember that, you need to stay faithful, you need to have faith and not be fearful. And do you
yeah.
do good in your business? Thank you so much,
All right.
darling. It's been a wonderful
Thank you
time
so much.
here on Immigrant Voices and Victories. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much. We'll see you in the next one. God bless you.
Okay.
No
All
limit.
right. Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.